Hey everybody, it's Sorry I Didn't Come With a Filter podcast and Vasilis Didn't Come With a Filter YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about everything that has been happening in the NHL world, my take, my views, and so on and so forth. So, to get into the news today, Brady Tkachuk, breaking news, Brady Tkachuk just signed a 7-year, $57 million deal with the Ottawa Senators, which, again, is pretty big on their behalf because that is, they've been waiting to get this kid signed. And, yeah, he is, basically the future of that team. I wouldn't argue with that fact. He is pretty much the future. One of the future pieces. You got Shabbat there, you got Braunstrom, you got Colin White, you got a really young core of players there. So congrats on Ottawa getting that deal done. He's going to I've heard Jeff Merrick and Elliot Friedman talk about it on their podcast and their show on 32 Thoughts, which went from 31 to 32 because there's now 32 teams. So that's great. I really enjoy listening to their podcast because it's funny. I love Elliot Friedman. I wish he would bring back his COVID hair because that was just freaking awesome. Just not the beard. Just the hair. The hair is awesome. As you guys can see, I have my Dodger gear already. I'm all Dodgered up because, the game is on tonight. Game 5. San Francisco versus the Dodgers. Let's go Dodgers. I love me Dodgers. I got me Clayton Kershaw jersey on too. So let's go Dodge. So back to the hockey right now. It is, official. They've got the deal done. Last night's games were really, really entertaining. A bunch of rookies got their first goals last night. Ovechkin got into the top 5 of all-time scorers. That guy is going to go. The great 8 is catching to the great 1. So we might have pretty soon a new number 1 leader in all-time scoring in the NHL, which is, I hear a lot of people saying that Mr. Gretzky, the great one, Wayne, he really does enjoy watching Alexander play because Alexander Ovechkin to me is he is one of those generational players. There's no quitting this guy. This guy just keeps going and going and going. And he's so fantastic at it. He's so great at what he does. And that, to me, that's what a player is. I watch Connor McDavid, and, I see a lot of those photos that they had because his grandparents were in the stands last night, and it was the home opener of the Edmonton season and all that. And, it was really, really cool. But I could see this kid is what you would call a very quiet player. He's a very quiet individual. He's not after the glitz and glamour of the hockey world and, where all the other players are kind of like, hey, look, I got a Ferrari. Look, I got a Lambo. Look, I got a Maserati. Oh, look what I'm doing out in Ibiza and St. Bart's and Cabo and all that. He's not. He's a very down-to-earth kid. And that is great leadership right there. Watching last night, I want everybody to understand, watching the Oiler-Canuck game was, okay, Chason had his, he had a blip of a moment of a game, so what? Everybody does. I wouldn't say, trade his ass or send him to the minors. I'm not going to say that because the guy earned his spot. That team worked extremely hard last night. They played hard. They were losing 2-0. They came back in the last half of the third period, and they tied it up. Ekman Larson got his first goal. Hoglander did what he does best, and that's get in those gritty, dirty areas, get the puck, fetch the puck, set up things. The guy, this team is actually really, really good. I don't understand why a lot of people don't get that. In Canuckland, we should understand. In Canuck Nation, we should understand. This is a good roster. This roster will make the playoffs. I don't see, as I alluded to yesterday, I don't see Calgary making the playoffs. I do see Edmonton, I see Winnipeg, and I see Vancouver. The 3 Westerns out of the 4 are going to be those teams making the playoffs. Seattle This first game was awesome. It was all right. It was, them getting their feet under, they got all thrown together. So you kind of understand they have to all kind of see where they're at. But last night's games were really entertaining. And I will even say it, just like Elliot Friedman, Jeff Merrick, and everybody else. McTavish, that kid McTavish in Anaheim, he is going to be a ball of energy, a ball of fun. He is just going to bring everything to the arena, make the crowds laugh, make the crowds feel, hey, this is a game, this is a sport. But he's, the kid scores a goal, he celebrates. They had to review his goal. He celebrated twice on one goal, and that kid has what it takes to be a player. He is enjoying the game. He's having fun. This is my opinion, my view. I'm unfiltered here. But I'm not really going to be swearing too much today because I'm in such a good mood watching this. It was an epically good game. Oh, man. My chain. Sorry, my necklace is just killing me underneath my jersey there and my shirt. But it was really entertaining. It was fantastic. It was one of those times to feel great about sports being back. Yes, it was great seeing fans back in the arenas. It was great. It electrified the whole beginning of the new season. It was great. I thought for sure Toronto was going to stomp on poor Montreal, but that didn't turn out the way it was. So I was very, very happy. But the Capitals and their rookie, and Mr. Ovechkin, the great eight, just laid a slacking down on the Rangers 5-1 last night. Maple Leafs and Canadians were 2-1. Ducks did a shellacking on the Jets. And Gibson, Caroline Cameron from Sportsnet pointed out of all his penalty minutes, it's usually at the beginning of the season. Like, the first game of the season, he racks up penalty minutes. He did it again last night. But Ducks slashed him up. The Jets, pretty good there. 4-1. Blackhawks, as I say, I was wavering. I'm a whiffler, but, whatever. I hear Landeskog got a freaking game misconduct for something on a hit. I will talk more about the Myers and Keith hit. That was funny as hell. That was just fucking great. I loved it. That's hockey for you. Avalanche beat the Blackhawks last night 4-2. So to recap what I was watching last night, it was entertaining. Like, again, it was, the fans were into it. You had them roaring. Apparently I didn't really watch the Montreal-Toronto game because I'm not too big on that area. But, again, it was entertaining. It was just, the fans brought so much to the game that we all missed during that 56-game season and the bubble. The fans bring out the best of these players. These players play really well when the fans are there. And I understand now why. It was pretty cool when I having it. You could hear the players, but after a while, you really miss the fans. And the fans is what it is. So tonight's games, like I predicted again, Ottawa and Toronto. So Toronto already won. So now we're going to look at Ottawa versus Toronto. If Brady Tkachuk, since this is going to go, Brady Tkachuk signed his contract. He shows up to the arena. He wants to play. I wouldn't doubt DJ Smith saying, "Okay, you're up. You're in." Because the kid's fantastic. He's a great player. He's just smart. Pittsburgh versus the Panthers. Pittsburgh beat the holy snot out of the two-time, repeat champions of the Lightning. So, looking at the Panthers' intake and the team, I know Barkov signed his big deal, but I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. Carolina versus the Islanders, with the Islanders' new additions and everything, and Carolina being Carolina. I know Rod Brindamore, he's a great, great head coach. Don't get me wrong, he's a really great head coach. And he won a cup there in Carolina. But I'm going to take the Islanders on this one. Tonight you got the Stars versus the Rangers. Well, Rangers are coming off a freaking ass whooping of a lifetime against Washington Capitals last night, with OV scoring twice, jumping ahead of Marcel Dorsel. Yeah, I can't even say the guy's name right. I'm a Canadian and he's Canadian, but on the other side. By the way, again, I'm gonna go with the Stars, even though they don't have what they have. The Stars are still gonna be the Stars. That's how it is. Mika Zibanejad, I forgot, he re-signed too, got a massive deal the other day. That's great on them. They're doing what they got to do for, stuff. Coyotes versus Blue Jackets. Okay, I'm just going to call it right now. It's Blue Jackets going to beat just the tar out of the Coyotes. I'm sorry. Canucks have two other good players, Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Connor Garland. Okay, so, again, Clayton Keller's there. Phil Kessel. And that's all I know on the Arizona Coyotes. And a team that owes Glendale a crap ton of money. Let's go Blue Jackets, okay? Let's just go with it, the Blue Jackets. Canadians play tonight with the Eichelus team, and I think Ristolaina's not there anymore. I hear he's somewhere, but I'm not going to touch that one. But I'm going to go with, Brandon Gallagher is showing his feistiness again like last night, and it was funny. So Brandon Gallagher is going to lead this team out there. Josh Anderson. Cool on Jonathan Drouin. The kid came back from dealing with a lot of anxiety, and hey, I give him props. I give that kid props. He took a year off, get himself all readjusted, and that's cool. I respect the hell out of players like that. I respect them. I respect when they have to deal with their own mental issue. I will be covering more on the Kyrie thing today too. I was one of those, but I will cover that later on in the show here and on the podcast. But let's go on further here. We got Lightning versus the Red Wings. Okay. I'm pretty sure the whole raising the banner, understanding you won 2 cups in 2 years, that's great. That's great for the Lightning. Here's the thing. Got to wake up, man. Got to wake up. You can't let Red Wings beat the piss out of you. The Penguins took you to the cleaners. Don't make it a second time around here. I'm just happy my Canucks pulled off a point last night, first game of the season. That's good. That's a good way to start. At least you got a point. I don't care if it's 2, if it's 1, it works. That means you're still at the head of the game. But anyways, let's jump over. You got Seattle versus the Predators tonight. I'm going to go with I'm going to go Seattle. And then the Golden Knights versus the Kings. So you got the Knights versus the Kings. That one's because the Knights are the Knights. It don't matter. The refs just call the game like BS calls on that shit. And I hate it. I hate how the refs are screwing around, calling nothing on the Golden Knights. But I did hear last night the loudest arena in all of hockey, or any actually sporting arenas in North America as of this now, it is the Vegas Knights. And kudos. So, Vegas Knights are going to win that. It's just how it is. It's going to work that way. It is how and what it is to me. So, Week 6 tonight, you got the Thursday Nighter. I did put in my predictions on that one, on my FanDuel. Buccaneers versus Eagles. I'm sorry, Eagles fans and myself, but the Buccaneers are going to win. Sorry. That's all I got to say on that. Sorry. You can't bet against Brady. Okay? Brady is somebody you just can't bet against. It's one thing to say, oh, I don't like Brady. But on the other, Brady is Brady. Brady is good. Brady is like football god. Just like Aaron Rodgers, football god. So, besides all that, I got my picks for Sunday's game. So, Early morning game, England, you got the Dolphins versus Jaguars. I don't know how many people are going to actually want to watch this game. I'm pretty sure overseas, they're pretty pissed because they get to have to watch Jaguars lose twice in a row. And I'm pretty sure they're not very freaking happy about this. And they got a 1-4 team in the Dolphins going over there. I don't know who, just like I had this discussion with my dad. Who makes these schedules for these teams? Like, who makes the schedules for the sports? I'd love to know who the hell draws names out of a hat and just like, oh, we're going to put the Jaguars out there for 2 games in London. What, does the Khan family have to go and watch their soccer team lose? Oh, wait, forgot. They're on international break for World Cup qualifying, which I will be covering later today, too, on my YouTube channel and a little on this podcast. But again, who the hell makes these schedules? I could not freaking tell you. Like, my team goes from Edmonton to freaking Philly on Friday. And then they got another team on Saturday. Like, come on. Who the puts up with this crap? Like, who makes the schedule? Apparently somebody who's really off their geography and failed that in high school. I can tell you that much. They were really failed. You got an F. And I like, you got 2 Fs. You got an F plus for effed up and F'd for just complete epic failure. So on that end. But Bengals versus Lions, I'm going to go with Bengals. Chiefs versus Washington, I'm going with Chiefs. I'm going Texans over Indianapolis. I know I shouldn't, but I probably not going to regret that. Rams over the Giants. Chargers over the Ravens. Packers over the Bears. Minnesota over... Nope, joking. Carolina's going to go over on the Minnesota Vikings. Cardinals are going to beat the crap out of the Browns. I don't care. I know they got some banged up issues, but something tells me it's going to be there. Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm going to say scrap it. Scrap that. I'm just going to go with the Browns. Denver's going to beat the, Grudenless coach, Raiders, because, I think this has affected the team and the locker room morale right now of all this Gruden talk. So that's what happened. They're going to be affected by it on the field, and I feel bad for these guys. The Cowboys are going to beat the piss out of the Patriots. Seahawks are going to beat the piss out of the Steelers. It's because, as I said, alluded on my other episodes of my podcast, my channel here, this is a game that's going to truly decide who's going to be in the playoffs and who's going to be running up their division. And that's it. And then that's the Sunday nighter. The Monday nighter, I'm going to go with the Bills over the Titans. So that's my calls all on that. That's my predictions. So, and tonight we got the Dodgers versus the Giants. Final game of this divisional series between the Giants and the Dodgers. I'm a Dodgers fan. Let's go Dodgers. Let's go and win another championship. Let's do this. I enjoy this. I love it. I care about it in more ways than one. My prediction is going to be a tight game, but the Dodgers are going to somehow release everything they got. And they're going to hit home runs in Oracle Park. I understand it's Logan Webb up there on the mound for the Giants. It's okay. I still believe in the blue and the white. Let's go Dodgers. All right. Now I'm going to move over to the World Cup qualifying last night, which is on my TV right now. And that was unbelievable game last night between Canada and Panama. They're still talking about Alphonso Davies in the second half, going from his end as the ball's rolling out of bounds. Panama player trying to protect it to let it go out of bounds. He scoops it just mere inches off the line to keep it in play and score to make it 2-1. Like Alphonso Davies, this is a team. Okay, let me put this in perspective on how this is going to work. 85, my buddy Brian was born. 86 was the first and last time Canada made the World Cup and didn't score a damn goal. 87 was when I was born, and now, 35 years later, they're going to go and make it to the World Cup? Oh, wow. I was born a year late, but I get to see it now. And this team is just so dynamic. We have so many great players. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know why I closed that, because I need something off of my other laptop. I don't know why I did that. The Army. I'm having one of them moments. So it was great. It was just, I did watch the beginning. My buddy told me to rewatch the beginning, so I've been watching it today. It was entertaining. I could not, for the life of me, it was a lot of pushing and shoving at a corner because this guy wanted a corner kick, and it was hilarious to me. It was a ball of fun. I can't not laugh about what happened there. It was funny to me. It was enjoyable. I just love it. So that's, my take on the World Cup qualifiers. I'm happy Canada beat them. My dad apparently said there was 3 penalties that did not get called on Panama. I was like, it didn't need to be called. Here's the problem. Here is the problem. They didn't need those penalties. They got 3 other goals to go with it from not having those calls. So that was awesome. To me, that was awesome. That was fantastic. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So, let's go Canada. There's no EPL, I don't think, this weekend, so I'm not even going to cover that for a while. Again, I am going to be introducing new stuff onto my podcasts, or onto my YouTube channel. As I will say, I will allude this on my podcast here. I've started playing around with music, poetry, poems, whatever you want to call it, just kind of writings. I am really enjoying this. I am having fun with it. So, it is fun. Besides all that, to kind of go back to the sports right now, like pro wrestling, I actually read today that Bray Wyatt was Wyndham Rotunda, I should say. There's some things coming out that he was a little difficult to work with, and the money issue came up. His weight kind of came up. They're trying to go more towards a little leaner, meaner mass of muscle kind of thing. I don't know what the deal was. I was trying to read what I was reading and understand it. Couldn't really understand it. But that's a bit of pro wrestling news. Tonight is Impact Wrestling. I really don't know what's going on there because I don't really follow too much on Impact Wrestling. It is a little off the wall for me. Tomorrow we got a 2.5 hour SmackDown. The last half hour going up against AEW Rampage. And then you got Dynamite on Saturday, which is, I believe, a live episode. So that's going to happen. So we got all that for the weekend. It's pretty cool. Wrestling Friday, Wrestling Saturday. That's awesome. And then you got the lead up to Crown Jewel next week, which I don't really understand Crown Jewel. Wow, I got crap on my head. And I can't even see where I am. You gotta understand, my camera's I'm confused. Anyways, as I was saying, that's my bit of wrestling news on that front. Who knows where Braun Strowman, Bray, Buddy Murphy, where all these guys are actually going. They're probably all going to end up in Impact Wrestling just because of the money. AEW is kind of loaded up right now, and that's fine. Let it be. So that's my take on all that. Back to the hockey, though. My hockey takeaways from last night. The hit from Myers on Duncan Keith was awesome. I loved it. That, again, to me, that right there was what I would call wrestling. Or not wrestling, hockey. It was perfect. It was awesome. I fantastically loved it. I enjoyed it. I miss that. That's what I miss about sports, is that you don't let these guys do some physicality. It kind of gets the game going. It kind of gets us fans really going. And that's awesome. And all that right now. And it's it is pretty awesome to have all that. But with that being said, that is today's podcast. I will be more on my YouTube channel right now, recording some more stuff, introducing more, talking more about myself. I'm going to probably do a trailer video for my channel and all that. So, again, thank you for listening. I will talk to you guys later. Happy Thursday. It is almost the weekend. Let's go Dodgers!